Well, we are plat 2. We are plat 2. So we're going to keep trying to climb. I learned a great deal last week, and the pacing of this format's kind of interesting because it feels like a mix of both aggressive and prone to super board stally states. But I feel like the board stalls when you have set yourself up aggressively. You know what I mean? If you are trying to be a passive board staller, you can get overrun if you're playing too slowly. So, I mean, I think that the Briar Bridge tracker is alarmingly good. It's a 3-mana 2/3 that comes out as a 3-mana 4/3 with Vigilance, and it redraws. There's a lot of good hands here. I think Ambitious Farmhand is great. You know me, I love Shadow Beast Sighting. I think it's just a super high-value card. Search Party Captain I'm a fan of. Moonrager Slash I'm a fan of. This pack is actually fantastic. The blue cards stink. Hey, Dreadhound's also very good. Nebelgast Intruder. Infernal Grasp is great. What else do we have here? I really like Eccentric Farmer. I think Eccentric Farmer is just a superb card in green. Regularly just lets you get a land. Nebelgast Intruder is almost always been a 2-for-1 for me. Or just like a really solid way to close out games. Infernal Grasp is also very good. Part of me wants to just snatch this Infernal Grasp. This is rough. I actually think I want to get the Nebelgast Intruder, I think. I mean, this is easier to splash, and if I'm green, I'm actually going to get the Infernal Grasp. If we're in green and we have an Eccentric Farmer, it makes it very easy to splash things. We see one of my favorite cards in the entire set. We see the Shadow Beast Sighting. Is anything else really better than this? Not really. Cathar's Call I've been wholly underwhelmed with. I would be content to be green-black. Wow. There's a Sacred Fire there as well. There's an Evolving Wilds, which I can take to help cover stuff. Loyal Griff is also good. Sacred Fire, I think, is harder. Sacred Fire, I think, is just a little bit hard to justify snatching, because I really like all the cards I've picked. I don't see a real reason to abandon that yet. Loyal Griff still allows me to do what I'm doing. Timberland Guide is also, I think, just a fine green 2-drop. I think the Loyal Griff is sufficiently good, though, that I will probably want to pick it up. And perhaps we're green-white. Alright, well, there's the Eccentric Farmer, which is exactly what we're looking for. It's made it through a couple picks, and I'm happy to see that here. Also notable, we see an uncommon and an uncommon, which means an uncommon, a rare, and 2 commons were picked, and then we saw an Eccentric Farmer. So I'm pretty content with this green selection. There's a Winterthorn Blessing. I think it's amazing. I just think it's amazing. Tomatkins gifting us 5 on this happy Tuesday where we're trying to make our way up and up and up and up and up. Golden Witch, a 5 gifty subs following up the 5 gifty subs. My gosh, things are just going up and up and up and up for us. Ah, yes, some trash picks. Well, I think I'll just take the Candle Trap. It's okay. We are not going to be picking a black card. Starling Wolf is actually, it's okay. It's not fantastic. I guess I'll pick this, but I'm not really entirely sure what my second color is. Pick 8. Now, do I get the Timberland Guide or do I get the Evolving Wilds? I think I do want the Timberland Guide because I'm spending enough time being a wee bit unsure of exactly what I'm doing. But we're definitely green. That's for sure. So I think I want to just make sure that I have a 2-drop in green before switching to something else. Green is 100% open. That is a wheeled Shadow Beast sighting. So, Revenant, 1,000 bits is what engine are you using for Grobble Squabble? We're using Unity. We're using Unity. Yeah, I mean, this is just straightforward if you ask me. Pestilent Wolf kind of stinks. Nothing in the other colors are exciting me. Timberland Guide, heck yeah. Startle's very nice. Crossroads Guides is actually pretty good. Exiles a card from a graveyard and is a 3/4 and does some, albeit expensive, color fixing. This is looking a little bit like we are blue-green, splashing for Infernal Grasp. And Root Coil Creeper is just so good for what we're trying to do. I mean, Gisa Glorious Resurrector we're never running, so it's not even a consideration. But there is the Organ Hoarder. I think that given that we have Shadow Beast sightings, and this one I'm near certain will wheel, because it wheeled last time, I'm going to get the Root Coil Creeper. You can exile it to return a flashback card to the hand. Croaking Counterpart. Good stuff. Good stuff. I mean, I actually think no one's going to pick this. Actually, I want to get the Burly Breaker. I have... Well, there's also a Defenestrate. Oof. I genuinely think this is going to wheel. We also don't have that many good ETB cards, except for Briar Bridge. I guess this is actually great. Yeah, I'm going to get the Burly Breaker. We have an Outland Liberator. We have Defend the Celestus, which I am a fan of. I think I'm running that whole stack of things. Outland Liberator is very good. Yeah, I think actually I'm going to pick up this one. I think I am going to... What? Oh, there's an Eaten Alive. Yeah. Yeah. Getting some... Well, that's a little tricky because it needs double black. I'd be willing to splash fit it with single black. Dryad's Revival. There's another Shadow Beast sighting. I actually was a little underimpressed with Dryad's Revival. I think I'm just going to, like, hoard Shadow Beast sightings. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think a Duel for Dominance is actually going to be very important in our list. Oh, Sheriff. Why are you so devastated? There's another Eccentric Farmer. Yeah, I mean, things are actually going pretty great. Was unimpressed about the Dryads. As Super Nintendo, we had so many cards in Flashback that, oh, wow, yeah, we're doing it. We had so many cards in Flashback Town. Wow. That it was hard for me to even find an opportunity. Mono green, huh? Are we? I don't really know. I'm going to get this because I'm not entirely sure if we are trying to win on the ground or the air. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Gotcha. All right, well, I think we're ready to go to deck building. Hi, Sheriff. Why are you being such a loud cat, huh? I mean, I think that Shadow Beast not wheeling is a little surprising to me, but that's okay. We'll just keep hoarding Shadow Beasts. The big question is, how do we deal with flyers in this? Because flyers are going to be a big issue for us. And one answer is we just smash the ground. We can tap flyers. Consider. We might not run this Pestilent Wolf. Okay. Okay. This is actually nice now. Don't know if we'll need this Crossroads Guide. Don't think we'll want the Candlelit Cavalry. I guess the Morbid Opportunist, huh? Because then our game plan is relatively simple. We're just trying to drown our opponent in card advantage, which already looks like what we're doing. We don't actually have the most amazing blue. Maybe we're green-black splashing? I don't know. I'm pretty sure we're green. Gosh, I gotta be honest with you. I have some confidence that we're green. You know, I just honestly have not yet decided. This pack is terrible. There's... Oh my god, Maldonis' president grabbed Farmer the last one. Well, we have 3, and I fully expect to just keep getting more. Everything here is really terrible. We're more likely... to get confused. I don't know, man. To the sideboard with you. Death Bonnet Sprout is exactly what we want. Perfect, perfect. Card is amazing. Dawnheart Mentor is really, really good. It's exactly what we want, actually. Yep. It's like ideal. This can let us end the game. We have a Nebelgast Intruder, which is just incredible. I think we actually do want these duels for dominance. I think that this might make me just cut some of these other random nonsensies. Yeah, these are some poopy packs, which is okay. Maybe. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I think we just don't run this Morbid Opportunist. Probably don't need this one. Probably don't need this one. Probably don't need this one. I might try to figure out a way to run this thing. It's just good to have some removal. I might not run this Infernal Grasp and just simplify my life. We do have a pair of duel for dominances. I think that seems correct. Welcome back. Yeah, I mean, that seems pretty good, huh? That terrible, terrible pack from earlier. We actually have a lot of good flashback cards. So these eccentric farms are amazing. I might actually run Locked in the Cemetery over that other one. I think I should have gotten that other Worldly Gaze. No, actually, I don't think we need it. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty clear. I'm gonna run 9/8, even though we have almost all green. We just have a lot of reason to get blue early on. I want to be able to cast this on turn 2, for instance. I mean, I think that this is it. This is the list. This is the game. Removal, removal. Croaking Counterpart on the Root Coil Creeper to get back extra Rise of the Ants is excellent. I don't know, on Twitch, I just wanted to pop in and say that I was recommended your old video about how you imagine being a giant sea moss before you fall asleep most nights, and I think I laughed so hard. Oh my god, my wife was like, just, you could hear her buckling with laughter in the background. It's like, be quiet. His story's really cool. Dryas Revival on these. Yeah, I think we got it. Alright, Simic, get there. Yeah, I found that imagining that was just very, very satisfying to fall asleep to. Alright. Okay, so now that the draft is done, I saw several folks etting me. If you wanted to et me and ask a question, feel free to ask again. Whoops, 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 whoops. No, that's correct. It's 2 minutes. 7 Isles. I think that 10-7 is a reasonable consideration, given like how much green we have. Do I really? Here's the thing. This is fine to cast later. This is, generally we want it on turn 3, but this is fine to cast later. This is fine to cast later. It's really the Root Coil Creeper and the Nebelgast Intruder, so I think for that reason it's actually okay. Shadow Cats was asking whether you'd ever play Horizon Zero Dawn, about 10% in and in love. I might actually, leading up to the release of the next game. A Fool to Fall says, do you have any advice for an upcoming draft to my local store? Feel free to take your time. Feel free to take your time. Dawnheart Mentor is secretly a very potent card for us because it allows us to punch through for additional damage. Pass that turn. Ooh, baby. DJ Furball, have a good night, man. Nighty-night, nighty-night. Genius says, have you taken a look at Storybook Brawl? Yeah, we streamed it on air. It was a remarkable amount of fun. I think it's one of the most smooth game experiences like I've ever had in the auto battler genre. Only Croaking Counterpart and Eccentric Farmer. And how many do we have in the bin? Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to Croaking Counterpart, the Eccentric Farmer. So this puts a third one in the bin, and then several more go to the bin. And then I can get a Forest out of there, and I can play this, and because I have 5 in the bin now, when I do this, that taps. And then if this gets sacked for some reason to make something good again, then I can just Dryad's Revival to get back to lock in the cemetery and go. Peregrine says, it's funny, I don't like green in the set, but I trust Sean when he drafts it. I feel like Shadow Beast Sighting and Eccentric Farmer are the two activator cards. Because smoothing out your mana is really good in drafts. Like, ridiculously good in drafts. Because it's so easy to just not get the land that you need. And that just fixes a lot of it. But even more so if you have a lot of flashback cards, Eccentric Farmer puts 3 cards into your bin. So sometimes you just draw 3 because you put 3 flashback cards in your graveyard that you can cast later. Even if we had the land that we needed, this would be pretty bad. I mean, if we had a green, maybe we'd be able to get an early Shadow Beast Sighting, but I think this is okay. I think this is fine, because what we're going to do is we're going to lock in the cemetery a significant threat if that's the issue. And if we miss for a turn or two, it's not horrible. Perfect. You love to see it. See, this is what I mean by the Eccentric Farmer can, in a way, draw for you. Some Brawl says, what's the plan after the week of draft? We're drafting 3 days this week. We got a sponsored stream of Trials of Fire on Thursday. And then next turn I can pick this forest back up with the Eccentric Farmer, and then I have my sort of pick of the litter. Yeah, I'll swing with this. This is fine. And then I think that next week, the week after this one, is going to be Age of Empires week. We're going to do a day of Age of Empires 2. I also want to check out Darkest Dungeon 2 on Tuesday. I believe that enters into early access on the Tuesday, which is fantastic. Then Thursday and Friday are going to be Age of Empires 4. Because Age of Empires 4 releases on the Thursday. I was watching some videos of that. I see. Alright, so this is... We're going to do this, which then goes 1, 2, 3. We now have 6 in the bin, so we can get a forest back. And with this forest, what do we really want to do? I think maybe just turn this guy sideways, huh? Then we actually can lock in the Cemetery to tap and Winterthorn Blessing to tap again as well. Kind of just shutting down their entire wall. And then the week after that, it kind of depends. That's a pretty good play. So, this will heal them for 5 and then 5. Yuck. I mean, that was like a disgustingly good play. Holy crap. So I think I need to speed this game up, huh? Or we could just go for the super long game. The dual craft trainer is a real problem. I think these are the two that are... So, we are in a tricky spot. I think it's this and then one of these. Probably the flyer. If I swing, this is, I mean, this is 10. I think that's right. This is kind of why I'm happy that I'm running a pair of Duel of Dominances. So this will get tapped down forever. It's fine. Are we winning? I don't really know. My opponent did this insane play where they just dealt 12 damage to me in one turn. Eesh. Yeah, the week after Age of Empires 4 releases, I'm not sure what we're going to do, because Age of Empires 4 will certainly be something that I'm going to want to play for, like, at least 2 days. But I don't know if Age of Empires 4 is going to make people go, yeah, this game's awesome, can't wait to go play Age of Empires 2. Why? Amazing. Amazing news. Good. Good, 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 good. Duel for Dominance is instant speed, right? Nice. Forgot about this Coven effect. Okay. This is still very clearly the one that we must deal with. Just flyers and evaders. Because, I mean, there's been many instances of games that come out that people go, this is awesome. Ah, I missed that old one. I mean, most notably, the fighting game community. You know, there's been a lot of eras where it's like, oh, this new fighting game's coming out. Oh, cool. I wanted to wait to see if maybe they had a combat trick that they wanted to try to use. Looks like the answer is no. Where were you my whole life? If we can pick off a Burly Breaker, I think it's going to be good stuff. Yep, easy enough. I think we're doing okay. I think we're doing okay. But yeah, you know, there's a lot of times a game will come out and people go, oh, this is cool, this was fun. This was fun to learn and to experience and to enjoy. Ah, it makes me want to go back and do that other game. You know? This is an issue, man. It's going to deal 5 damage, huh? 6 damage twice. I think I did that right. Do we have a way to deal with that thing? I think I'm going to just chump for now. This is tricky. And this helps. This does help. So if I went swing like this... Can't swing with either of these. I think this is okay. Because what I can start doing is I can start chumping the double strike Burly Breaker. Pestilent Wolf can block and exchange with one of these, but I think that if we are trying to go around Mycological, that'll be more effective than trying to prevent the onslaught. Yep, seems totally reasonable to me. Because, you know, I am going to be able to just, like, get down a Shadow Beast a turn. And if I'm swinging with my big ones... I think... I'm not really sure. Double strike Burly Breaker is a problem, huh? This is what I mean by the games seem aggressive, but also very stally. It's aggressive in that, like, if my opponent didn't build up an acceptable board, or I didn't build up an acceptable board, the other player would have won. Hey, now that this stuff's all built up, you know. So let's see, if I swing out... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Yeah, so... I think this is right. This is a wee bit of a risk. So my opponent has to eat one thing. Solid One says, were you a console gamer or a PC gamer when growing up? I was primarily a PC gamer, because obviously I played StarCraft as my main game. In terms of consoles, we owned a reasonable amount of consoles, but we were Sega babies. We were Sega Genesis babies. So here's the first strike, damage goes through. Oh, shit, because if this gets double strike... No, I did do it correctly. Because if this swings out, if I can just chump this... Ah, fuck. Alright. That was a close one. There's also just not that much removal in white, so... Alright. 1 and 1. No problem. You played a lot of Sega things like Sega Saturn, Sega Genesis, Sega Dreamcast. I think that this is a good hand. Alan Tickett says, why don't use Rise Advance, which would give 2 blockers? Generally speaking, we're anti why not, why don't, why didn't you, couldn't you just kind of questions on this channel, because it's unclear what's even being pointed to. Bow. And also, when you're looking at a hand, try to lean on, I would do this, instead of why not do that. Untick says, did not realize there wasn't enough mana. Again, I want to point to the fact that I'm still not sure what you're saying. And this is why I encourage everyone to, instead of saying, why not do this, say, I would do this. Try to turn the why not statement into a declarative statement. Helps make things way more clear. Alright. Maybe we get blown out here, but... It would need to be like pump and other thing. And I much prefer to trade 1 for 1 and eat up some mana. Okay. And as sort of anticipated, we are slowly just pulling ahead in terms of overall resources. MTG Goldfish rated with a party of 625. Oh my god. Well, thank you warmly to all the fine folks over at MTG Goldfish. For any of you who don't know, MTG Goldfish, who is a real goldfish for what it's worth. It's amazing what can be done just running the face of the fish into the keys on the keyboard to produce such a glorious website. That's a great play. I'll do that. MTG Goldfish is like the place I go for all my Magic deck stuffs. Now, here's what I think. I think that running out Rise of the Ants is better than trying to set up an attack. Because, again, I have more cards, I have more flexibility, I have more power and punch. In terms of my just overall number of cards. So I want to try to get a lot of this momentum up and onto the board first. Sure, that's totally fine. But yeah, MTG Goldfish is a great source to go to that does analysis on what current metagames are. Here, there, and everywhere. This is fine. This one's coming back. So, we should do this. We should do this. And we should do this. Straightforward a set of blocks as any. There's one card in the hand. I don't think there's a global 1 green, 1 red buff that can actually fix the problem that Germano BD has before them. But whatever. Thanks for the raid, MTG Goldfish. And again, I encourage all of you to go there if you're like, what decks should I play? They have great breakdowns of like standard, historic, budget, top in the meta, top performers at tournaments. It's just a wonderful reference. And I think that in a lot of cases, that can be incredibly helpful. Because, you know, just getting a reference to be like, hey, how does this? What do we have in here? So we want to make sure that we get this and green. Yeah, that's great. Sometimes just being able to get access to the reference is almost more needed than a simple rote guide. Like, here is how to do this in this game, in this situation. So this is looking like a win. Thanks again. And to any of you coming from MTG Goldfish, hi, my name is Sean. Day 9, that's my name tag in the corner. I like strategy games a great deal. Card games, RTS games. Just gonna take that damage and then end of turn. Try to pick some nerds off. And this month, we're trying to get our double Mythic sticker. Trying to get our double Mythics in both limited and constructed. And so last week was a lot of painful learning. Because this format still feels very odd to me, very weird. Alright. This is not a very good one. Marnson says, what do you think the state of current RTS games is, Sean? What are games to play and learn? I mean, I think that the best answer I can give is that it's weird. Maybe I actually want to chuck the Dawnheart Mentor. I mean, I can cast the Dawnheart Mentor, so I think it's probably more reasonable to keep that. The fact of the matter is that, like, very few people are even at all making any RTS games, period. They're just not really worked on outside of what I will call more of a single-player fantasy aesthetic. When I say fantasy, I don't mean like... Where'd my other eccentric farmer go? Did I accidentally drag the wrong one back? Looks like I dragged the wrong one back. I wanted to keep that. But as it turns out, I am just kicking ass in terms of my ability to get exactly what I need. For any of you who don't know, I am the greatest gamer. Is there a flash card that's 2? Maybe no. Yeah, there's just not a lot of people that are making RTS games. You do have games like Northgard, which is really fun to play as a single-player type of experience. I'm just going to adjust this. If there's a Nebelgast intruder, this can get reduced, but not killed. Day 9 is growing more powerful by the second. J-Smo is another great example. They Are Billions is technically a real-time strategy game, but it's much more about the single-player experience. God, Iron Harvest we played recently that appeared to be very much so structured as a single-player experience. Iron Harvest, yeah, had like a whole storyline and campaign. I think that maybe the best mixture of single-player campaign plus... my opponent had to do that, otherwise I would have cast Rise of the Ants on the very next turn. This is why this card's so good. I can just Covenant it up. Making things so big. Oh yeah, Total War Game Selkoth is another example of a more single-player campaign-focused RTS game. So I think that there's a lot of obvious joy that comes from having a little baby simulation that you're building up, and, you know, you're seeing the workers move around, and you're seeing little fans spin in your factories, and the factory lights up when it's working, and boop, out pops a thing that you can move around and fight stuff. I mean, that's fun. It's just, like, fun to see. But, trying to figure out a way to balance or make more accessible the RTS, I think, is very challenging, because so much of what makes the RTS game fun is also what makes it inaccessible. Dat gassed. So what do I mean by this? Well, I'll use Magic as an example, because I feel with some certainty that some of you have played this game. By virtue of the fact that you're all here hanging out, I will be playing the Eccentric Farmer because the Nebelgast Intruder can't deal with the Harvesttide Sentry at all. Anyways. Hit me. Oh, thank God. Alright. I have a clear way to play. Someone keeps hitting the mic. Oh, sorry, that's the bottom of my desk. That's the bottom of my desk. Apologies for that, everyone. Yeah, so all right, beatdowns work. Yeah, it's just rattling on the bottom of my desk. Thank you very, very much for letting me know that, Vezroth. I really appreciate it. But, like, I'll use Magic as an example. In Magic, imagine that there were no activated abilities. There were no enter the battlefield or exit the battlefield effects. The mana ramped linearly over the course of the game. All keywords were removed. There was only one color in the game. There were no tribes. It was mana costs, stats, and that's it. This is still acceptable enough because this is such a potent 2-for-1. I'm the best player that's ever lived. There is enough. If you started to reduce the complexity of Magic, you'd actually start to go, oh, well, that's kind of boring. Oh, it's too bad. You know, you'd start to just be a little, And so, what has Magic done that we talk about a lot on the stream? Magic is so complicated, where this is a human warlock that is affected both by human and warlock tribal buffs. This is a fungus, then it becomes a fungus horror when it flips, and guess what? This flips! There's so much stuff to track, things that, like, only function under certain conditions. And because it is very challenging to track, that's what makes it cool and fun and interesting. It's because of those things that these games are interesting and compelling and rich. I'll play the Briarbridge tracker. This Fangblade Brigand is basically the problem. There are 3 or more creature cards in your graveyard. Transform. We only have 1 in there right now. Which kind of stinks. And so, you know, in RTS, a lot of the fun is in this just crazy, multi-layered, complex, multi-layered, complex, like, managing of these different mini-games, which kind of creates a floor of how much you can even do. Or excuse me, a floor of what you need to be able to do to even play this game. This is a sorcery. Boo, boo. I might chump here. And so I think that's the real challenge. I remember there was an RTS game called Grey Goo that tried. That was just the incorrect one to do. This is going to be tricky. How do we do this? We're trying to bink a land here. Successfully bonked. I have to do this now. Because, like, I have no issue dealing with this board at all. So we're just gonna hang back. And then win very slowly. I think I'll actually Croaking Counterpart the Eccentric Armor to ensure that we can get the land that we need. That's not an issue. This is actually the issue, but we have a Nebel Cat. Sure would love one land, huh? Verno says, I don't think there's always an inverse relationship between complexity and accessibility. When complexity is introduced incrementally, you can preserve accessibility. I think that there's a lot of truth and merit to those sort of things. However, some things are fundamentally intertwined. For instance, one of the fun things in Magic is I don't know what I'm going to draw. This creates a huge amount of variability. Now, I think that it is correct for me to do this now. But this is going to start swinging in, and I need to leave mana up for the Dawnheart Mentor to make this +3/+3. If we can be careful around the Soul Guide Gryph, I think we're going to be okay. One duel for dominance in the bin. Dryad's Revival still in the deck. I think we're okay. Okay, so this came down. Why? This is just for intimidation? So here's what I actually want to do. I want to crack my clue. I think maybe. No. I'm going to Croaking Counterpart, Nebelgast Intruder. Just going to reduce this. Then I'm going to play this one down and get this up. So now this actually creates a problem for our opponent in terms of being able to swing it all. If they do swing, I will take that as like a really alarming, concerning thing. All right, everything's amazing. We have plenty in the bin. So then we can just deal with this, and then we're fine, yeah? All right, let's crack it. Really good. So now this means it's going to go back to daytime, because I'm playing multiple things. And then I can just lock the Soul Guide Gryph in the cemetery. So it's daytime. Ta-da! In Magic, there's a huge amount of fun that comes from the surprise and not knowing what's going to come on the top of the deck. But also, this means that you can sometimes draw the wrong thing 4 turns in a row. I mean, people love to talk about mana screw. I played Hearthstone for years. It's one of my favorite games of all time. In Hearthstone, there's no mana. You just automatically get it at the start of every turn, and you still get the worst top decks ever. Because the randomness fundamentally gives both the variability combined with the getting screwed. Those things are fundamentally intertwined. Ooh, 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 ooh. This gives me the most flexibility. We're absolutely crunching them. We have 8 mana, so we can Dawnheart Mentor and Duel for Dominance if we need. Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. It's fine. Yeah, and then a swing out wins the game. Victory. So, and I think that as a result, a lot of devs in the RTS space are just like, you know, screw it. Let's just make a fun single-player experience. Gernot says, I feel like getting screwed by randomness isn't an accessibility issue. Yeah, I probably muddled my point by breaking it up a bit. I am not saying randomness is an accessibility issue. What I'm saying is sometimes things can be tied together. And a lot of the things that feel inaccessible in RTS are tied with the things that are fun in RTS. Similar to how the screw from randomness and the joy from randomness are tied together. These are things that are tied together. I'm not saying that I go first with this. This is nearly a perfect hand, but I still think, I'm going to mulligan. Better. Much better. I'm just talking about the idea of things being tied together. I think that's the real challenge in the RTS-y type space. Burnout says, yeah, totally agree that lots of elements of gameplay that are fun for some people will necessarily be not fun for others. While I agree with that point, that's still not the point that I was making. I'm just talking about things being tied together. People getting screwed by draws happens to everyone. There's very few times when someone draws poorly and goes, fuck! I love getting screwed. Again, virtually all people get pissed off when they draw poorly. Virtually all people get delighted when they draw amazingly. The point that I'm trying to make is just the connection between these things. Whoa! Luckiest boy in the world? No. Because this can then cast... Maybe we want to be able to cast that soon. I don't know. So I hope I'm being at least reasonably clear. No. That's actually fine. It's frickin' fine. And I can Dryad's Revival to probably get back maybe Root Coil. I don't know. Maybe just Shadow Beast sighting. Alright, cool. Anyone else getting frame drops? Let's find out. Yeah, it looks like some frames dropped. Some frames indeedy. Beady boo. Did indeedy do. Dropperoni. I mean... I think I actually just want the Shadow Beast sighting back, huh? I've been seeing more people play Bat Whisper lately, which is interesting. This does not really mess me up that much. This card's really, really ridiculously ungodly slow. I also have an Outland Liberator. Or the Malevolent Hermit falls. I think I should have fought the 4/4 on the 1/2, actually. And I now know that this thing can't block. I didn't know this at first, but I now know it. Outland Liberator would be amazing. Yeah, I think I maybe needed to be swinging with this one turn sooner. Curse of Surveillance takes for frickin' ever. Organ Hoarder. Yeah, just classic card advantage, drowning. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Alright, well. Double block is not actually bad for us in either case. Sure. Still need to hurry up. This takes quite a while to start getting supreme value. Holy cow, 3 defenestrates. Jeez. No blocks. Yeah, that's going to be tough to deal with. Especially when we land flood. Double blocks are still bad for us. Oh my god, Olivia's Midnight Ambush. I mean, I think this is... You know, I think it might be time to just... Kite. Oh my god, that's my guy! No! Oh, you bastard. That's my guy. Birthday Party says, do you think it's all the same window or different windows? I think it's actually the same window. Like, whoever is sent to repair the painting on the window. Yeah, this is bad. 5 and 5. We're at 5. Conceivable that... Depending upon... You know, I think we're going to draw an island. That feels correct to me. Kind of. Alright, we have died. Not much we could do about that. It's alright. All I'm really hoping to do is to go 4-3 and better in every draft. That's what I want to do. And we've already hit that, so I'm feeling pretty good. Oh, we're already at 5 wins. Man, some of these wins have just been, like, instant. Let's see here. This is good. This is good stuff. Oh, wait. Oh, the Believers have already won. Wait, I gotta issue some points. Let me tell you, I'm irresponsible about this. The Believers have it. Man, we didn't even talk about haters and Believers. And again, I don't think any of the haters are actually haters. I think we need to rebrand them as likers. There's the lovers and there's the likers. As a worldly gaze. Not the worst run out. Some bro says I got the Untapped GG app and the extension integration is so cool. Yeah, love that shit. I actually think HTML5 overlays on live broadcasts is like the future. The future. You know, there's a number of technologies that in 20 years will be everywhere that will be so crazy to imagine not having them. Like, imagine going to the grocery store and having, say, a contact lens in, where you can just glance at things and you just get the nutritional information. Just happens. Spurly Breaker's been in the graveyard so often. Ah, crap. Did you see the Dota 2 extensions? Ah, yeah, that's some good stuff. Oops. Doink, doink, doink. Hey, we did it. We got a thing. Taking 5 in the air is... Yeah, that's bad. 5 in the air like you just don't care. It's a really good way to create despair. Oh, baby. Yeah, I think we maybe just had a slightly weak start of things. It's causing us some pickles. Well, I mean, zoinks. This is about what we can do, huh? I don't think I have a single thing with reach, which is probably one of the weaknesses in this, but I thought that maybe if I had enough. Duel for dominance and... Yeah, I think I just needed some 2-drops. I think that was the pickle here. Certainly if I draw some sort of 2-drop. Yeah. Rise of the Ants! Go! I mean, we have the look and feel of a dead person. I think the, yeah, we need some really specific answers to flyers that we didn't get, but still I'm pretty pleased. You know, 5 and 3 is perfectly acceptable. And perfectly acceptable, 5 and 3. Yeah, that's not it. I mean, I don't know really what we're hunting for. We're not getting it. Like, we very nearly got there. But, no dice. That's all right. We're dropping back down to Plat 2, but we went 5 and 3, winning more than we lose, and that's good. And we're going to go snapping back into the next game.